Have you ever felt like you've wasted years of your life, years that you think you can never get back? Now let's dive into the concept of wasted years. What does it mean to waste years? It's a subjective concept, isn't it? For some, it could mean years spent in jobs that didn't fulfill them. You know, the kind of jobs where you clock in and clock out, but your heart is never really in it. For others, it could mean years trapped in toxic relationships that have drained them emotionally and mentally, leaving them feeling empty and lost. Yet for some, the idea of wasted years could be more personal. It could be the time spent battling an illness or recovering from personal setbacks. Or perhaps it's the years spent not living up to one's potential, the nagging feeling of what if and if only. The feeling of having wasted time can be overwhelming. It can lead to regret, a sense of hopelessness, an insidious guilt that gnaws at your peace. It's like a heavy blanket smothering your joy, your zest for life. You may find yourself looking back, wishing you could rewrite those chapters of your life, but alas, time travel remains a fantasy. However, it's important to remember that everyone has their own timeline. Life isn't a race, and we are not competing against anyone but ourselves. We all have our own journeys, our own paths, and sometimes those paths include detours. These detours, these wasted years, are not necessarily a deviation from our path, but rather a part of it. These wasted years can serve as a lesson, a guide, a light to illuminate the path forward. They can help us gain perspective, build resilience, and develop empathy. They can teach us about our strengths and our weaknesses, about our passions and our fears. So, if you're feeling like you've wasted years of your life, remember this. It's never too late to change your path. No matter how many years you believe you've wasted, it's never too late to start anew. To find your purpose, to fuel your passion, our tagline on Motivation University. To live the life you've always wanted, to become the person you've always aspired to be. No matter how many years you believe you've wasted, it's never too late to change your path. But what if those wasted years could be restored? What if you could regain those lost times? Imagine for a moment a restoration, a second chance, a do-over of sorts. But how can we restore something as intangible as time? God says in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 31, that the devil is a thief and must return back 7 times that has been stolen from your life. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. The key lies not in the physical realm, but in the realm of the mind and spirit. It's about a shift in perspective, a change in how we perceive our past, present, and future. Think of it this way, wasted years are not necessarily lost years. Instead, they can be seen as lessons learned, experiences gained, and wisdom acquired. We often learn more through our failures and missteps than we do from our successes. So in a sense, those wasted years have already given us something valuable. They have shaped us, molded us, and prepared us for better days ahead. This concept of restoration is not just a philosophical idea, it's a principle that's deeply rooted in biblical teachings. In the book of Joel, chapter 2, verses 25 and 26, it says, I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the hopper, the destroyer, and the cutter, my great army which I sent among you. You shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, who has dealt wondrously with you. What does this mean? It suggests that even the years we feel were wasted, eaten by metaphorical locusts, can be restored. Restoration here doesn't mean turning back the hands of time, but rather making better use of the present and future. It's about taking those lessons learned from the past and applying them to our current circumstances, thereby turning wasted years into a foundation for future success. Restoration is not about turning back time. It's about moving forward with a renewed sense of purpose. It's about making the most of the time we have now and in the future, using the wisdom and lessons gained from our past. And most importantly, it's about understanding that no matter how much time we think we've wasted, there's always a chance for restoration, for redemption, and for a brighter future. So, you might ask, how does one go about restoring wasted years? Well, it's a journey that involves a blend of practical steps and a dash of faith. Let's dive into this. Imagine yourself at the helm of a ship that's veered off course. The first step to steering back to your path is self-reflection. You must take an honest look at where you are, how you got there, and where you want to be. This involves acknowledging your past mistakes and understanding the consequences they have had on your life. It's not an easy step, but it's a crucial one. Next, you need to chart a new course, set new goals. Picture where you want to be and what you want to achieve. Don't limit yourself to what you think is possible. Remember, with God, all things are possible. It's about setting your sights on a destination and not wavering from it. Sometimes the journey may seem too daunting, and that's okay. Don't be afraid to seek professional help if needed. There are people trained to guide you through these challenging times, to provide you with the tools you need to navigate your way back. There is no shame in this, but perhaps the most important step in this process is forgiving oneself. We often hold ourselves captive with the chains of regret and guilt, but remember, everyone makes mistakes. It's part of being human. Forgive yourself, let go of the guilt, and you'll find that the weight you've been carrying around will start to lift. Place your burdens at the cross. Patience and perseverance are your two best friends on this journey. Change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, and it may seem like you're not making progress, but every step, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Remember, the journey of restoration is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about keeping your eyes on the prize and not giving up, no matter how tough the journey gets. After all, the greatest victories often come after the hardest battles. In conclusion, wasted years are not a life sentence. We've crossed an enlightening path together, exploring the concept of wasted years and the profound idea that they can indeed be restored. We've seen how time seemingly lost is not beyond retrieval if we choose to change our perspective. In the grand tapestry of life, every thread, every moment holds significance. What may seem like wasted years could be an essential part of your life's narrative, a period of growth, learning and transformation. We've also highlighted the steps towards restoration. It's not simply a matter of wishing for change, but actively taking steps towards it. It could be as simple as setting new goals, seeking guidance, or making amends. Remember, it's never too late to start anew. God is a God of second chances. Every sunrise brings a fresh start. His mercies are new every morning, a new chance to rewrite your story. Lamentations. Chapter 3, verses 22 through 23 tell us that the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. You have the power to restore your wasted years, so why wait? Start your journey of restoration today.